So I think the first one it's an interesting one because I still see a lot of emails with kind of 100%, the whole email is just populated with images. There's no live text in there. And while that might not necessarily specifically send you to the spam folder because there's no live text, the fact that you have an image in there, especially if it's a larger file size, it'll take longer to load, especially for folks who are viewing your email on a mobile device, meaning more time spent on a potentially blank email, which customers and subscribers will be turned off by. And if they can't find that unsubscribe button because it's potentially hidden somewhere in the image itself, they're more likely to mark that as spam. So while I would suggest, yes, definitely lean away from single image emails from an accessibility perspective, but also lean away from it from a deliverability perspective and ensure you have a good balance between images and live text, because as the email loads, if they can see some live text, it'll look like there's something worth waiting for when the email fully loads. And then the second thing, coding errors can land you in the spam filter. If you're using a template, you're probably less likely to have this issue, but if you're using custom code, you want to make sure that your code is perfect. We did have one issue. I can't remember whether it was this year or last year, but it looked like our email rendered great in all of our different email clients, and I think we missed off one tiny little bit to close off an HTML tag in our HTML email, and our email ended up in the spam folder for Outlook users, which was very, very sad and disappointing, but it can happen. So it's always worth keeping an eye on your actual code as well. And then subject lines. I have a big bugbear against subject lines that start with re and forward. They're not good tactics because it shows you're trying to game the ISP. A lot of senders will try to use re and forward at the beginning of their subject lines to make it look like the email is from someone, to be able to land that email in the primary tab versus the promotions tab. But because they're misleading, some folks may think they're spam too, so they might mark them instantly as spam. And also it's worth knowing that these sorts of subject lines can be misleading too, which is against plenty of anti-spam laws out there. So definitely avoid the re and forward. And then links could also be a problem, especially if you're using link shorteners like bit.ly or tinyURL. Spammers often use link shortening services as well, which is why a lot of inbox providers use that as a gauge as to whether your email is going to get delivered to the inbox or the spam folder.